Welcome to the Prospect Warehouse podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on X at Fantasy Aceball. And we got a boy, Jon Anderson at Jon PGH, the master, the Hefe, as I called him. And he's like, what? Heifer? The boss, the mob boss of MLB Data Warehouse for all you Italians out there. So if you're watching, you can see on X Vision, it's just the two of us on screen right now because we're going to start this podcast, even though the plan is to talk about first baseman for redraft purposes. That's the title. That's like the main plan of the pod. But Jon invents a new thing basically every day. I think he sleeps and has dreams of what he's going to invent the next day and then makes a whole new thing on MLB Data Warehouse. And so I jokingly have dubbed it MLB Data Labyrinth, because people are always like, where can I find this? Where can I find that? Where can I find this? So we're going to take some time, Jon. So if you want to screen share here, we're going to go on a tour of the MLB Data Labyrinth and show you how to get from one side of the maze to the other. We're going to take a tour of the warehouse.
I have these, you don't know how true what you just said was. I'll be just, I have to it's yesterday, Sunday morning, I wake up with an idea. I'm like, oh, I really want to do that. And it's like, but it's Sunday morning. I got to go to church. And I don't want to be I got to take one section of the week to just clear. You think about something else, So, but yeah, ideas are so easy to put into play now with all the help we get. I mean, you don't even have to know anything. What I do is not impressive anymore. 2 years ago, I would have been yeah, what I do is pretty cool and impressive. But now it's anybody can do this stuff. So start up your own thing and just get ChatGPT going. And freaking put me out of business. I mean, it's easy. So the other thing is labyrinth, that word. Do you remember, did you have an iPod Touch when they first came out? Were you kind of ahead of, in the tech? Were you one of those kids?
I had a knockoff version because I grew up in lower middle class, I guess. I had some knockoff one. I can't remember what it was called. It was fat. It looked like a giant brick. I can't remember what it was called. Okay. But I didn't get an iPod until many generations later because I got the poor man's version.
All right. You're a little older than me too, but I was in high school when this iPod Touch came out, and it was the cool. I mean, it was a really, really impressive technology. Not to get sidetracked, but my friend Nate had one, and it had this game, a labyrinth it was called, and it's a maze, but you would tilt the iPod. It had the accelerometer in it, and you would tilt it, and the ball would go where you tilt. It was freaking unbelievable. I remember where I was sitting when I first saw that. I was like, this is unbelievable. And I tell my wife this stuff, and she's never liked technology at all. And she just doesn't understand the nostalgia I have for that era, 2000 to 2010, of all this exploding technology and stuff. And then the iPhones every year were not only iPhones, I mean, the other smartphones too, the technological explosion every year, all the new stuff. Now that's over. Every iPhone's the same, except they say the camera's a little bit better. But anyway, shout out to anybody who remembers the iPod Touch. That would have been 2005-ish. It came out a couple years before the iPhone. So yeah, let's go into the perceived labyrinth here.
The labyrinth, yes.
Well, so the question to answer is, and we'll be quick, is everything's always better on desktop, but I know that people don't use desktop. That's kind of a rare thing these days. So iPad or tablet better as well. We'll show the web app, but basically to answer your question, I don't want to show this resource glossary page right here because it has the password just shown, and then I'd have to go change it. We don't have a login database or anything, which I think is kind of nice. You don't have to get bogged down with that. But anything you're looking for to answer to people asking Tim, if you're looking for tools and stuff that we're talking about, just hit this button right here, resource glossary. Now, if you're on the app, Substack app as well. If you go to MLB Data Warehouse and just hit the search, the magnifying glass in the top right in the app, and type resource glossary, and then just bookmark that or open it in your web browser or whatever on your phone. And all the links to the dashboards and stuff will be in there. The one that is where all the new stuff and kind of all the main hub, will say, for all the stuff that you might actually find worth paying for, would be in this web app, which is a Streamlit app, which looks okay on mobile. I've hacked it to not do the dark mode thing, so it should look okay. It's still not going to be nearly as good as if you have a wider screen, but the link to this and the password for it is in the resource glossary, like we said. And basically, I have a Twitter thread today just going through every tab real quick, but it's all pretty self-explanatory. But that's what it looks like now. You see the player ranks will be here. I'm not done with them yet, so you're not really seeing the full thing yet. Some teams aren't even in here, but yeah, ranks, projections, tools, and when the season gets going, that's where things will be. But yeah, so 2 things to just remember: that resource glossary page, as well as the Streamlit app. And if you have any questions, Twitter DMing has become trickier. I had to turn off. I don't need you to do this, Tim. I had to turn off public DMs because of the bots. The porn bots were just. I shouldn't say the word porn. I guess we're just gonna get flagged for something now. But like it got so bad, right? That I was getting just like 5 to 10 DMs every day of like these whatever. So had to turn that off.
They weren't real. Those aren't real.
It would be even worse. It'd be even worse. I don't want to talk to real. I want to talk to my wife, and that's like the only woman I want to talk to. No offense, although I'm not offending anybody because no women are listening to this. But
there's one woman. One.
Yeah, I'm asexual. Actually means something. I am. Never mind. Forget that.
All right. What about the okay, so that's how you navigate. You're going to find the resource page and then search what you want in there. The Streamlit app has a lot of the new stuff on it. What about the Tableau pages, John? How do you find what you're looking for in those pages? Like what? I don't know if you can pull those up real quick. We've got an MLB version and we've got an MILB version.
Yeah.
So how do you find what you want in those things? Is there a way to, besides just scrolling tabs,
right,
and searching your brain out? Is there a quick way to find something in particular? Like, let's say if I wanted to find, since you already haven't pulled up, how does Raniel Rodriguez, how does he perform against a curveball? Can he hit a breaking ball? How do I find that?
Yeah, it's not. You have to take some time and learn. You have to stick with it because there's no like step-by-step tutorial how to or anything like that. But if you have a little bit of patience, you can kind of click around and see. For that question, the most useful tabs will always be kind of more toward the left or toward the top of this menu. You can go to hitter data, search your player. Do I have? Oh, not a great example there, I guess.
Well, you also have on the tabs there B versus
Here we go. Yeah.
Type, so you can type in your hitter and get that. I mean, I asked you to put that on the profile pages, so hopefully we'll get that on the profile.
That's what you're after here, yeah. But yeah, B versus P type doesn't. I can't make the name of it super self-explanatory because then it makes the thing really wide and it's ugly. So click around, and then once you get here, you should kind of know what you're looking at, right? This is Raniel Rodriguez against each pitch type. But if you're brand new to baseball stats, like this will probably confuse you. But yeah, we're open for questions, and I'll try more and more to put out tutorials. There's a few tutorial videos on my YouTube channel, MLB Data Warehouse. You have to scroll back a bit, but we'll do a little bit better at tutorials and stuff. But if you spend 5 to 10 minutes clicking around, looking at it, you should be able to figure things out. But reach out to either of us with questions. I guess reach out to me with questions. But yeah, I mean, there's way more data and stuff. I've forgotten a lot of the stuff that we've even made, and I haven't touched a lot of these tabs myself in a while. But at some point, I found them useful and I made them, and I kind of just forget about all the stuff we have. So yeah, just a ton of stuff, but not the most organized. I will take that criticism, but I don't know. More stuff is better.
So me as a user and not as a creator, right? Like I give you ideas and stuff like that, but I'm not the one who created it. So I'm not as close to the baby as you are, right?
Yeah.
I'm like the godfather. You're the daddy of the baby, but I'm just like the strange uncle or godfather or whatever. So the profile pages are the main thing that I'm going to generally click on if I'm trying to get a general overview of a player. If I'm not like super digging into one, like one guy like hard, like the profile pages are the best thing to go to for hitters or for pitchers. So you're going to click on hitter profile or pitcher profile. But there are obviously things, because the profile page, you're not going to throw everything on one page or else it just renders everything else useless or redundant, or there's too much information. It's going to be overwhelming. So the other tabs are what you're going to look for random other things. And like some of these other things that you're creating, like for instance, you're not going to have all the scatter plots, right? You're not going to have all the different graphs. All that stuff's not going to be on the player page. So if you wanted you have a search tool there. Can you search specific graphs or anything in that, John, on the Tableau?
No, this searches Tableau overall. You can't search within the dashboard.
There is no way to program that into a search thing.
I don't think so. I don't even know how I would do it. Yeah.
All righty. So then you're going to just have to play around with the tabs and move up and down. You can see all the stuff. But I think, John,
there's like 100 of
there's
them.
like a billion different tabs. Exactly.
Yeah.
On the MLB. The MILB is less tabs. So it's lesser. But I think maybe what we should do, John, for MLB Data Warehouse subscribers, what if we put some polls out on what tools that has John created that you would like to see us put in like maybe you can make a tab for like highlighted tools or something, or new tools where we highlight the ones that the people want to see the most, or like most upvoted tools or something like that, just to make things more searchable, closer to the left side where the easiest things are to find, like the most important things. So I think for you subscribers, that's a nice reason to subscribe so that you have a vote in this process. And then John can put like a new tools and then like a highlighted, like most voted up tools section on the tabs. So that'll give everybody a nice word on like what you want, what you look at the most that's not like easy to find, basically, to make it easier to find within the labyrinth.
And during the year in the daily notes, the whole thing, the thing that started all of this MLB Data Warehouse was the daily notes, which started as just a button I would click every morning, and it would run a script and get the data that I thought was most useful from yesterday during the season, and then the last few weeks, and then that's developed over the last few years. But I take time to write in there every morning, and I do usually, if I show like a plot, I will say I'll kind of show where the tool is and a little bit about it and stuff. So I'm kind of always commenting on that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a decent way to spend some time and kill some time clicking around and learning. And I will say, like, the one thing I have to offer the high stakes players, like the team previews, the people playing for all kinds of money, they kind of know everything I say in there, right? Like they do the player analysis themselves, but the tools are something that might actually separate you if you're a pretty serious player. Cause I don't know, like most of the data is available somewhere else, but not all in one place and not all with the customization that I've made. So that's it.
Yeah. Like the new bat speed versus whiff rate. I thought that was pretty interesting when you made that the other day. So I think, putting stuff like that out onto like a new spot where you've just newly developed it, easier to find. And then, like I said, like if we can get on like the tools that people are using the most and kind of have like a most popular tools for the subscribers, that would be awesome. So that's it. That's a tour. And I think I gave John some extra work now, so he's going to love me for that. So let's get to the first baseman. So we're talking first base redraft rankings here, and I want to see how John feels about some of these. I think first base, to me, I feel like I'm a little more in line with industry and NFBC stuff from like the third base. Like I'm pretty high on like guys like Paredes, and maybe I'm a little more high on some of the power guys than other like high power, low batting average guys than some other people are, but I think that power is a little underrated and steals are a little overrated now in 5x5. I feel like there's always this thing going on where it's like every other year, or every couple of years, it's like people start leaning speed, then they lean power, and I feel like there's just like a scale, and it's always moving back and forth, and it's never just like in the middle. So I think power
steals are. I mean, the last 3 years steals are way up. It's like I don't know if it makes a difference overall, because certain guys still steal more bases. Like the upper range has gone up as well. But yeah, like 4 years ago, a 20 steal guy was like, that's really valuable. Move him up, get it, reach for the guy that can get 20 steals. But now that's like super easy to find, and like you're looking for the guys that can steal 35 or 40 more so than 20. And then power hasn't had that change. I mean, if anything, it's gone down a little bit, right? 2019 was the heights of it. That's super juiced ball. And then I think 2021 was a little bit like that too. And it's kind of fallen down. Now you have no idea what will happen year to year on that, which I don't know, baseball, MLB, someday maybe someone will write a book about although I don't know how many people would read a book about how they changed the physical components of the baseball, but you never know exactly what the environment will be like before a season. And some of this park factor stuff is weird. Like the Rangers is just suddenly a pitcher's park, even though they didn't change anything in the weather. It's just all strange. But and then again, like the rules change. We haven't heard about any major rules changes or anything like that. But I can see what you're saying. Like steals, they're easier to find nowadays. And at first base, as we'll see, there's not a lot of steals anyway. So we can kind of focus in on just the most reliable power guys, run producers, and maybe obviously prefer some batting average and stuff. But yeah, it's a unique position in that way where your steals are kind of concentrated in the outfield and in the middle infield, and the corners are looking for more power and RBIs.
Yeah, and in regards to that, with the fScores, we have a higher weight on the hit and the power fScores. So if you're looking at the overall fScore, power and hit tool are weighted higher than discipline and speed. Kind of for that reason. I mean, like discipline is great for points leagues, but it's still hit and power is still more important for points leagues than discipline regardless. And in 5x5, discipline matters a bit, but it's not like the most important thing. I feel like discipline is almost works as a bit of a beta for some of these players, right? Like how volatile are they going to be? The guys with the worst plate skills are going to be a lot more volatile than the guys with like pretty solid plate skills. So it's almost just works as like a beta statistic, if anything. So like you kind of know what you're going to get more. Like it's a safer profile for someone that has a higher discipline score if you're using the fScores. So first tier, John, if you want to throw the first tier of the first baseman up, I've got Nick Kurtz as the number 1 first baseman, Vlad Guerrero Jr. number 2, which there's going to be big debate between these two guys for this year, I think.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper, I've got 3, Pete Alonso 4, Ben Rice 5. There's going to be guys even who move Alonso ahead of Harper now because they're going to go, oh, Alonso with that Orioles lineup is going to be sick. Gunnar Henderson hitting in front of him, and they're going to move him up just based on that because like he's going to get so many RBI. But we just talked about it. Like the hit tool, Harper's hit tool is still phenomenal. The main thing with Harper is just health. Like if you just want him to stay on the field. If Harper can put up a full season of at bats, he's still an MVP caliber type player. So he's not going to steal as many bags as he was a couple of years ago. But as far as like batting average potential and homers and OPS, like Harper is, if you're in a slug or OPS league or OBP league, like Harper is a beast in those types of leagues. Points league, like Harper is still smashing points leagues.
I didn't get to the Phillies team preview yet. I'm halfway done with the Yankees, and then I have the Brewers, Phillies left, and then I will have reviewed it like 400 some players. So I don't know Harper yet, but it does feel like you look at the numbers, they haven't changed a lot. I mean, I guess it's what's just become clear is that he's not this like super big upside hitter. He's just very good every year. He doesn't have like 50 home runs or I guess maybe he had a 300 batting average season before like 2020. I'm not even sure. Probably not. It's just been more like very good, very reliable rather than flirting with like tier 1 at first base. But sometimes the safety gets you kind of there. But let's look at Kurtz and Vlad because I don't know. That really is like a preference. The ADP here thing, I have a good plot here. So the green dots, it's not the greatest color contrast, but I don't pick that. Blue is Kurtz, Vlad is teal, and you see that early on in November it was pretty much Kurtz, and now people have kind of, I don't know what happens. Maybe the more disciplined drafters or the people calm down a little bit. They take it a little more seriously, and they're like, "Am I really going to take Nick Kurtz as the number 1 first baseman after 2/3 of a year of being very good, but with a high strikeout rate and no production against lefties?" And man, I mean, like how much of that was just luck or running really hot for 4 months, and will the league kind of adjust now after seeing the tape, and will they just get a lefty in against him every time because they saw he's got problems there? I mean, I wouldn't do it. I have Vlad ahead of Kurtz, but if one of these guys does way better than the other guy, it's Kurtz, right? Kurtz has the 50 home run, 290 batting average, 10 steal ceiling, while Vlad doesn't have that. But the reverse is true as well. Kurtz could be somewhat bad. I don't think anybody thinks he's not going to hit 35 home runs, but could hit 240 and really struggle in that and just have some extended slumps because he can't hit lefties or whatever. So it's ceiling or floor.
So for me, it comes down to batted ball profiles. Vlad still hits a ton of balls on the ground, and Kurtz is way better profile wise at getting to power angles. So between the two, Kurtz has a better ballpark benefit to him as well. And as far as lineups, like both lineups are very solid. So I don't really give one over the edge in regards to lineups.
No,
And
well, that's
so like Vlad might hit for 20 points higher or something than batting average, maybe even 30, 40 if Kurtz, like regresses some. But I think that Kurtz could easily hit like 15 more homers
yeah.
than Vlad.
He did last year. He hit 13 more and 200 less plate
At bat,
appearances.
yeah.
So that's a big difference. But you see the K rate. I mean, like who do you feel will like it's just a risk thing. I mean, can't you see Kurtz? Kurtz's expected batting average is 253 against lefties. He hit 197, struck out 35% of the time against lefties. So you don't even really you're not pumped to start him against lefties. He had 9 home runs with a 11.6% barrel rate, but it was pretty rough against lefties. And I don't know. The lineup stuff seems to be like the Blue Jays lineup seems to be better to me. They were way better last year, and A's haven't added anybody. But I don't know. I'll take Vlad. I'm just kind of usually playing it safe in the early rounds.
Yeah, I just I'll lean Kurtz because a lot of times like go big or go home. I don't want to fish third. Yeah, like finishing third sucks. I want to win. And
it's a playoff leagues or something. Some leagues you just try to make the top 4 in the playoffs and let the randomness.
Yeah. If you're head to head, I suppose, and you're not roto, that makes sense. But I trust Kurtz. Like, yeah, the strikeout rate's high, but he 18.4% barrel rate. Like his contact is so good. The bat speed, the EVs, like just the 40% sweet spot. Like his contact when he makes contact is so good that I'm just not really like. And it's not like his contact rates are bad. Like they're not great, but they're for a power hitter they're about average. So like I wouldn't be too concerned. Like I think he's a really really good hitter, and Vlad hits the ball on the ground a lot. And Vlad's only really really good season was when he was in a different ballpark when he was at Dunedin.
That's true.
So it's like okay, like Vlad has limited upside. So and I want to win, so I'm going to pick Kurtz because I want to win.
Yeah, that's fine. So your top 4 ADP wise matches, but there is a gap with what the NFBC drafters are doing. A 23 pick fall from Alonso to Harper in ADP, and then a $6 gap in the auction values. So Harper there's probably a tier gap between Alonso. I would say there's tier 1 Kurtz, Vlad. Tier 2 is probably Alonso by himself, and then Harper, and then you had Rice here. Nobody's playing Rice at first because he has catcher eligibility. That's kind of fantasy baseball 101. His primary position is first base. That's where he played last year, and that's where we think he'll start. So he has to be here. But just if you're brand new to fantasy baseball or something, and you draft Ben Rice, plan on getting another first baseman because Rice is a catcher, and that's much more valuable there.
Yeah, exactly. Between Harper and Alonso, real quick, I mean, like I guess part of this too falls to. And I already mentioned it, the at-bats. It's like if you can promise a full season of Bryce Harper, I think he's just going to be better per plate appearance than what you're going to get from Alonso. But Alonso has a much better track record of health. So I understand if someone's like, Bryce Harper last year only played 132 games. He hasn't played in 150 since 2019. He had 157 in 2019. But, like he still is throwing up 280, 290 batting averages pretty much every year with 30 bombs. So, I mean, if you can get 140, 150 games out of Bryce Harper, I'll take that over like 100, like a similar games played for Alonso. Just because
Alonso
the batting
has
average is going to be so much better.
Alonso has a couple of years in the last 5 where he's been a bad batting average. I mean, didn't he hit 220 or something like 2 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago? And the projections actually standard roto value, little calculation here of their standard categories. Overall value gives Harper the edge in my model, at least. My hitter projections aren't quite the greatest, but you can see there's a big gap in batting average, and Harper is, if anybody here is going to steal double-digit bases, it's probably Harper, but that's far from a sure bet at 33 for him. But yeah, I guess the projections are closer than the ADP would suggest. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit too much Alonso boost from the trade and stuff. It really wasn't a positive move for him. The Camden Yards played very hitter friendly last year after they moved the fence back in a bit, but I wouldn't count on that repeating. And I mean, the Phillies lineup is, I don't know, it's not like one of those is clearly better. Orioles should have a good lineup, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Phillies score more runs. They scored way more last year, I'm sure. So close there, but yeah, it's pretty clear top 4. And then what about, I guess we'll talk about Ben Rice again when we get to catchers, but the price on him just gone nuts. Do you have opinions on that? People are really,
I mean, it makes sense. He like metrically, everything under the hood is so good for him. He more or less had like a perfect season. Only 21% chase rate, 79% contact, 86% zone. So that means he has a really good hit tool, 40% sweet spot. Just talked about Kurtz's 40% sweet spot. So he's the same sweet spot rate as Nick Kurtz. And then he hits the ball hard. 93 mile per hour average exit velocity, 113.5 max, 104.20 at the 70. And then his EV90, 107 is really good, almost 108. Above average bat speed. Just like everything about him is phenomenal. And he's in a great ballpark for a lefty hitter, too. So that doesn't hurt for a guy who is mashing right now, power hitting lefty in Yankee Stadium. Usually you'll take that like all day. I mean, like even that's how much I like him, is that he'd be my 5th first baseman, even though he's a catcher eligible. Like that's how good he is.
Yeah. And you'll have to keeper dynasty stuff. You'll probably have to plan on him being not catcher next season. So I don't know if you plan ahead for that if you're a competitive keeper dynasty league guy, but the design of the Yankees, I don't think, would be to play him 20 times at catcher. But it's not hard to stumble into 20 appearances at catcher either. But yeah, I mean, every metric you look at, he's there. It's not like he just hit the ball really hard and struck out a lot and had bad swing decisions or anything like that. It's like pretty clean across the board. So the only hesitation for me is like, do they trust him against lefties? Will they bring Goldschmidt back and do the platoon thing at first where the Rice can rest?
Goldie's going to be a Diamondback. I'd put good money on Goldie going back to the Diamondbacks with his bro Nolan Arenado. It's like that's his home. He's gonna finish his career. It'll be his last season. Gonna go back to it. He just watched Albert Pujols do that with the Cardinals like 2 years ago. Like he's gonna want to go try to do the Pujols thing with the Diamondbacks. So that's like 100%. I'd bet good money on that one.
Well, you're a little overconfident, I would say, to say 100%.
Maybe, I don't know. Like I like they don't have Naylor anymore. For their first baseman is Tyler Locklear right now.
Yeah.
So
Goldschmidt absolutely smashed lefties last year, so he can still do that. But he's very old, and he was really bad against righties, which is most of the league. So, but yeah, that's probably the front runner. I don't think they have gambling odds about who Pell Goldschmidt will play for next year, but Diamondbacks are probably a good bet.
Yep. Okay, next tier here. We got at number 6, Michael Busch with the Cubbies. Number 7, Rafael Devers with the Giants, who gets dinged by the stadium, by the way. Like, you have to. Number 8, Matt Olson. And then with Braves, number 9, Tyler Soderstrom, another Athletic. And number 10, Freddie Freeman with the Dodgers.
Here, let me stop you there because if we go back to the MLB Data Warehouse talk, have you seen this new, I'm trying to be provocative, this new series I'm doing?
Yes.
So does this look like a mystery novel book cover to you?
Yeah, romance novel.
Yeah. Nice. So I didn't even do that on purpose, but then I put out the first one. My friends were like, "That looks like a John Grisham book or something like that." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna lean into that." But anyway, yeah, round 2. So I'm going round by round in 15 pick chunks, and just saying who I think the sharp people are picking and who I think the losers are picking. And is Devers round 2 or 3? So I'm just gonna give it all away here. These are free to read for now, at least. But I have Devers as the. Nope. Oh, maybe I get ahead of myself, or is it this morning? Oh, I spoiled it. It's the next one, I guess. So,
yeah, you spoiled it.
Sorry, but yeah, Devers in AT&T. It didn't hurt him last year, but that's it's a little scary. But sorry to jump the gun there.
Yeah, for sure, it's scary because I mean, like Brandon Belt had big time power for a ton of years and couldn't hit bombs there. Yeah. Devers did pretty good last year. Like I'm not gonna lie, he did better. Actually, did better than
he
I
did
thought
better
he
as a
was going
Giant
to in that stadium. Yeah. Especially once you got warmed up there. But Michael Busch, really solid year. trust the hit tool more, and I trust the stadium, so he gets a slight edge for me. Like, it's pretty close. It's not.
How about this?
Like,
Because there's an interesting like process question, I guess you could say, about Michael Busch, and like, what do you see here? Where's that one blue bar in the middle of a bunch of red? It's bat speed, 16th percentile. Does that bother you? Should it? I legit don't know.
It does long term, but he's 28 right now. So when he's like 32, that'll bother the crap out of me a lot because he's probably going to drop off a cliff. when he's like 31, 32, 33, he's just going to drop off of a cliff. But he's in his peak right now, so I'm not concerned for the next like 2-3 years.
He's not. Can you think he can hit 30 home runs again? I mean,
yeah. I mean, it all depends on how the stadium's playing. But yeah, for sure.
He went from
he gets to really good. He gets
34.
to really good. I mean, he gets the good angles. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a 30 homer hit because he's Nick Kurtz blasting 115 mile per hour bombs left and right. He's doing it because he's getting to really good angles. He's maximizing his angles. He's a good hitter, so he's doing it because he's a good hitter. Like, he's hitting bombs because of how Joey Votto hit bombs, not because he's blasting it at ridiculous exit velocities. He's just doing it by getting to good angles. So like, Busch over the last couple of years has really reduced his ground ball rate. He's hitting it in the air. If you could throw his angles up, look at that. He's just getting to really good angles, and I trust that's going to continue. So like 105.4, 90th is slightly above average. Like, nothing else in his exit velocities is crazy, but yeah,
many guys are
good angles. You're gonna mash.
But not many guys are hitting 30 home runs with just a 105.8 on fly balls. I mean, I would take the under on 30, but you shouldn't be worried about him going into the teens or anything like that. And so many of them were late, right? I mean, something happened late in the year in the playoffs. He was hitting home run every game in those early series. He was leading off for the Cubs, and he was like, everybody else had kind of fallen apart. I mean, Tucker kind of limped to the finish line. Suzuki finished really rough. PCA was bad. I mean, the Cubs lineup led the league in runs for a few months, and then they were terrible. But Michael Busch was the one who's like, I'll pick it up. Him and Swanson had really nice ends of the year. But I wouldn't count on 30 home runs. I would think 26, 25. But a decent walk rate, keeps the strikeouts under control. 275 expected batting average last year. Certainly an everyday player for the Cubs. So it was safe, but I think his ceiling might be a little bit overstated.
Yeah, I think that he and Devers will probably at the end of the year have pretty similar stats, actually. Yeah. I kind of like the Cubs lineup a little bit better. They got Bregman in there now, so it's a little nicer. And I think that Busch has higher batting average potential. So they might hit for close to the same amount of homers. Maybe Devers hits a few more. But I think Busch might hit for 10, 15 better points. And I think he's going to rack up more counting stats just because he's in a better lineup.
Quick projections. It's hard to see, I guess, here. I make the watcher's eyes really strain. Sorry about that. It's only so much we can do here. So I shouldn't even show this. 29 homers for me, 28 for ATC, but like the bats at 24, oopsie at 26. But the batting averages aren't high, 250 about across the board. So not a high batting average, but I mean, 250 is better than the league average at this point. So you kind of have to readjust that too. But yeah, it's safety more than ceiling. Devers never been a stolen base guy. Batting average was pretty high in the early days with the Red Sox, but that really hasn't been a skill of his lately. Let me pull that up. It's never been a bad batting average. 252 last year, 272 the year before that, 269 in 2023. So 2 of the last 3 years without, well, I guess only one. 270 is good. You count that as good, but 252 last year. And again, the bigger concern is just that he's a 25 homer bat in San Francisco rather than getting to 30 every year like he was prior. So, and the Giants lineup's nothing great. I mean, there's very, very few 30 home run, 100 RBI guys on the Giants since Barry Bonds retired. I mean, like, you can count them on one hand. So a little bit less interest in Devers. I don't think I'll draft him, although the cost has adjusted, but I'm pretty out on him.
Yeah. A weird thing too for Michael Busch is that roster resource currently has him leading off, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. It'll probably be Ian Happ or PCA. Makes a lot more sense with Busch hitting like third behind Bregman. So if Bregman is in front of Busch, like, could be significantly more RBI. So just keep that in mind. Next, though, Matt Olson. So we got Olson, Soderstrom, and Freeman here. Soderstrom is way younger than these other guys. So, like, obviously that's going to be something that people look at and they're like, oh, I like that because it means he's going to be trending up instead of trending down. Freeman is still awesome. The issue is that, like, he's playing less and less every single year. He's getting older, right? Like, and he's just getting less PAs, but he hasn't like fallen off a cliff. He's still really good. There's really, like, I mean, he's getting a little bit worse, but it's like incremental, right? Like he's probably getting like a couple percentage points worse, and it's all in the power. Like his hit tool is still there. Like he hasn't lost his hit tool at all. Plate skills are still there. He's, not running as much, but he's still throwing in 5 stolen bases a year, 5 to 10, something like that. And I would just expect for Freeman that he's going to be like 20s, like he's going to be like early career Freddie Freeman, where he's going to be hitting in like the 20s, maybe like, I don't know, 22 to 26 home runs, something like that. You're not going to get 30 bombs out of Freeman anymore. So that's something to consider with Freeman is he's not that guy anymore. He's not the power hitter anymore. So if you want power, then you're going to go Olsen, right? Olsen is going to get more plate appearances too. So keep that in mind, is that, like, if you're drafting Freddie Freeman, last year and the year before, he only played in 147 games. So he's getting a lot more time resting. And this is the Dodgers. They have a ton of guys. Like, they don't necessarily need him to play every day. They're way better off if they just keep him well rested and he's healthy for the playoffs. So would it surprise me if he only plays 142 games or something this year? No, it wouldn't. Where Olsen, the Braves need Olsen. Like, the Braves need all their guys to play every game to make the playoffs. So, like, Matt Olsen,
he does. Look at that.
He's played 162 games 4 seasons in a row. That's insane.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah. So Olsen's going to play way more. Yeah, he's not going to get the steals. Yeah, his batting average is going to be worse, but he should hit more bombs. He should get more counting stats since he's playing more. So
it's hard to judge. It's hard to in your mind to, like, with batting average, right? Like, how we kind of know, okay, 5 home runs. Say Olsen projects for 30 home runs and Freeman for 20. Like 10 home runs, we kind of get a feel for that of what that does for your fantasy team. Now, like 30 points of batting average, maybe 25, 20, the difference here. Like, how do you compare? Like, how many home runs is 10 points of batting average worth? Those are kind of hard questions to answer. And I think, I guess I don't even know what the takeaway is there. Like, do the batting average guys get a little bit undervalued? Probably. We probably undervalue the 295 batting average that Freeman can get, because 10 home runs just seems like a lot, but like 20 points of batting average is a pretty big deal too. And then with Freeman, you get possibly 10 more steals. I mean, Olsen's got 2 in the last 4 seasons, while Freeman's been around double digits every time. So, but yeah, you broke it down well. I think the Braves are just, I wish I knew what happened in 2023. I wish someone could just, like, prove that they were cheating. I guess they weren't. The innocence should be assumed, but they all just went nuts in 2023. I don't even know. Again, I don't think they were cheating. I don't even know how that would work, but they all went crazy in 2023. And then pretty much they've all been, like, way, way worse since then. And Olsen, 54, 29, 29 are his 3 home run totals. So he's not, I guess we can't really say he's got 40 homer upside at this point. I don't know. It's all been very strange. But safe options.
They live and die by Ronald Acuna. That's what it is. If Acuna's healthy and playing well, then they all do well. And if he's not, then they fall off a cliff. And they're not the same team.
Even him, like, it was, not to go on a tangent about it, but you could make a documentary about this. Like, Acuna had here's Ronald Acuna, an outfielder, by the way. We're off topic, but his last 5 strikeout rates: 2021, 24%; 2023 or 2022, 24%; 2023, 11%; 2024, 24%; 2025, 25%. So, in 11,
Beltran secretly working with a team.
What happened in 2023, man? Like, you can read the Braves preview for more conspiracy theorizing about it, but it makes me wonder if you just should throw it out, just, like, act like it didn't happen, because it was strange. And same thing with Olsen. Home run totals: 39, 34, 54, 29, 29. It's not quite Brady Anderson in the 90s, but there's something fishy going on.
People forget the Braves have cheated before. Remember when they got slammed for, like, buying all those prospects? They had to give all the prospects to other teams.
I don't remember that. How would you? In what way would you be cheating to make Acuna's strikeout rate drop 12 points? Like,
the buzzer, the Altuve buzzer.
Yeah,
trash cans.
That would be
all right.
I
It's the only
guess. What
way.
would the league batting average be if you had to tell the batter what pitch you were throwing first? Like, how much difference does that make? That's an interesting
Oh,
question.
probably quite a bit.
Yeah,
Probably 20 points.
yeah, yeah.
All
What
right.
the
So
ERAs
yeah,
go.
Olsen, Soderstrom, Freeman. We didn't really talk about Soderstrom much. You want to dig into Soderstrom a
I
little bit
think
here?
I think there's big a potential, like pretty big even improvement. Like he was a popular breakout pick last year, and it pretty much worked out. He was very cheap. He went from, someone that was pretty much free in drafts, standard league drafts at least, and then he hit 25 homers with a 276 batting average, 272 expected batting average. Strikeout rate stayed low, 351 expected WOBA. But like it was all pretty nice for Soderstrom. I really like these kinds of dudes that got to power and batting average while also having a little bit of a launch angle problem. He had a 48% ground ball rate, a 36% sweet spot rate, a 10% air pull. I don't think those are getting worse, So he just went 25 homers with a 270 batting average with that quote unquote problem. As a young hitter, you typically see them lift the ball a little bit more every year, assuming they're trying to, which I would imagine Soderstrom wants to do that. Some guys don't want to. Yandy Diaz doesn't want to. I get it. Soderstrom, with that park, being a young guy, still kind of getting the feel, although he did get the contract extension, so he's not playing for that part of the game. But yeah, could he drop to a 45% ground ball rate, pop up to a 13% air pull? If he does that, he's hitting 30 bombs and probably at least a 265 batting average. So I like him a lot. And the price is, we should check the ADP, but I don't know. I might take him in this tier first. At least I think I could probably get him a round or two later. And I like that.
Yeah, I think something to remember about him too. When he was coming up, like everybody knew he had a lot of power, but when he was a prospect, he was a catcher. So it's like
right.
Now he doesn't have that responsibility anymore. Like he doesn't have to worry about catching. Like now he can just focus on hitting. So that's why all of a sudden his strikeout rate completely. He had a 31% K rate when he first debuted. Went down to 22% this year. And in the minors, it was pretty high too. Like he was running 30%, high 20s in the minors. And then now he's not catching anymore. Now, because he doesn't have to worry about that, like, of course his hit tool is going to get better. 24, he's a young 24. He's going to be, he's basically 23 all of last year. So, he hasn't even reached his peak. Like, people argue about when is the peak, right, for these hitters. Is it 26, 27? Like, most people say it's 26 or 27. So he's not even at that yet. He still has a couple more years to get there. So he should still be getting better for the next few years here. And he's got a great ballpark. So, I would not discount Tyler Soderstrom.
40 picks cheaper than Olsen and Devers, 30 picks cheaper than Freeman. And Bush is actually the cheapest of this. So, give me Soderstrom at pick 90 over Olsen Devers at pick 50, like every single time.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next 5. So now we've got 11 through 15. Number 11 is Wilson Contreras. I love him going to Boston. It's like perfect for him. He was the Cardinals' best hitter the last few years, like their best player easily. And he was hitting in a terrible ballpark for hitters. Like St. Louis is like bottom 3 for hitters. Like that's a pitcher's park to the T. Now he's going to Boston where he's going to be able to smash like 40 or 50 doubles off the Green Monster. And he's hitting in the middle of that order. He'll probably have like Roman Anthony in front of him. Like this is he's gonna get a ton of RBI this year, I think. As long as he stays healthy, like he's gonna be first base. Like they need it. This is what they were missing last year was the first baseman. Like they just had a giant hole at like one of the most valuable hitting positions in baseball. And Wilson is not falling. Like he's not getting worse. He's 34, but his bat speed and everything is still on point. Like he's not getting worse.
Bat speed's great. Yeah, hits the ball really hard. Here's a projection.
He's been one of the, I think that's low. Like I think his RBIs are gonna be like maybe the runs are right. Batting average, I think he's probably gonna be like closer to like 270 because of the Green Monster. Because he's gonna just smash way more doubles. And I think probably home runs might be right, like 24. That sounds about right. But I think he could get 100 RBI pretty easily for pretty cheap. Yeah. Because I don't know where he's gonna ultimately hit, but this is a dude who his WRC plus is hovering 125 to 140 the last 4 seasons here in St. Louis, and one with the Cubbies. So he's not getting worse, he's getting older. He's still the same dude, still mashing, still hitting the ball really hard, still great bat speed. So I expect a really big season from him. And it's funny because for whatever reason, John, all the Like ATC only gives him 132 games. The bat only gives him 132 games. Like he's only been a first baseman for 1 year and he had 135 games. Like, shouldn't we assume that he should like I don't know if they're just factoring like his old catching time
Right.
over his career for his games. Like, shouldn't we assume he'll probably be in like 145 games, not like 130?
Yeah. Yeah. And let me say that's a good point. That came to my mind too. Like projecting is hard. There's all kinds of stuff to consider, and these projections are free, mind you. I mean, you're in the business world. You know that if you don't have profit incentive, you do worse work. So nobody's paying these guys for their season-long projections. Nobody's paying me for my season-long projections anyway. It's a decent thing to have as a throw-in, but I'm under no illusions that people are like, I got to pay for Jon's season-long projections. Like, I'll be the first one to tell you they're not as good as the other free models or whatever. Even if they are, they might be as good, but the other ones are free. So anyway, the incentive is not to get every exact thing right. So, and yeah, when you're projecting playing time, you look at the past. And if you don't have a line of code in there to say, hey, check for like a position change. Did he go from catcher to somewhere else and then boost it up? Like I vote, that's an oversight for me. I don't project the playing time myself. I just steal from other people. So, there's another admission, but if that's something that I could certainly see myself overlooking, like, so yeah, I think you're right. The playing time projection is probably a little bit low because that's what we got used to while he was catching. And then I guess in his first year as a first baseman, he played 135 games, but it's 1 year, and it's not like the Red Sox, they would love him to play 155, I'm sure. So I think that's a good point. Definitely RBI upside. It's a higher strikeout rate though. That's one thing you didn't kind of mention, which that's a little bit risky, especially for an older guy.
Yeah, he will be hitting 4th currently, is what Ross Resource has, and I bet
the Red
that's
Sox
probably
said
about right.
Too. Yeah, I think the Red Sox said that.
Already. Yeah, and that's Roman Anthony, Trevor Story, and Jaron Duran in front of him. That's like he's gonna hit so many RBI opportunity. Like I would be betting that he's gonna be closer to 90 RBI than 70 easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, take it.
And he's cheap. So number 2 on here is Vinny P, number 12 overall. The problem with Vinny P now is since the Royals are moving the fences in, he's going to get so overrated. People are going to be overdrafting him, I think. Like, I like Vinny P a lot, but I think he's more solid than like superstar. And because he's got the whole pass squatch thing going on, people love him. Like, it's just going to he's going to get too overdrafted. I don't think there's going to be value there. Like, I'll have 0 Vinny P shares this year. And like 2 years ago, I had a ton of Vinny P shares because I was big on him like when he was first debuting. But like now I'm going to have none because he's just going to get way overdrafted, I think, for the value that he's going to provide.
Yeah, I was totally off before the park change thing. And I don't know, we should actually, it'd be good to check the ADP because it's been a week or two since that got announced.
Yeah, look at the ADP of Vinny P versus Contreras because they could do very, very similar things numbers wise. And I bet Contreras is like 5 rounds cheaper, if not more.
Yeah. And then you could see the 32 homers just wasn't. I have home run rate here, which isn't the most easy thing to like do the math in your head, but home run rate is on the screen. You can see that's home runs divided by plate appearances. So it's what percent of your trips to the plate do you hit a home run in. 3.4 was the baseline he gave us, and then up to 4.7 last year. Just didn't make a lot of sense. So you think that comes back down. Now the park change matters, probably adds 3 to 5 homers for him. But yeah, I think he's probably where'd those projections go? I adjusted mine for park, and we ended up with that's a terrible screenshot.
27.
Where'd you go? 27 home runs, and I'm the high. Mid 20s is probably right. For the NFBC, like high stakes dudes, I don't really think any of those guys are like making picks because they're fans. But he has this unique combination of hitting the ball hard and not striking out, but he usually doesn't lift it enough. So, yeah, I guess I'm still kind of on the fade side, but it's better now with the fences coming in. And I took the screenshot you asked for while talking. So shout out to me. There it is.
I can't do that. Yeah, look
100
at that.
pick difference.
That's insane. Dude, I'll take that 100 pick difference all day. They're going to do the same thing. they're gonna have the same stats. And
batting average could be. You could have a 20-point gap in batting average. I would say that.
I don't know, man. Wilson hits. He's always been a hitter. They're gonna hit look at this. What Vinny P has been hitting 260s basically every year of his career, like 266 career average, right? Now
Yeah,
let's
all right.
yeah, and Contreras, he's got to be around the same thing. Contreras has a career batting average of 258. It's the same thing, man. It's same batting average. They have the same batting average. They have the same close to the same home runs. Maybe Vinny hits for a couple more home runs. Wilson's going to throw a few steals in. He's always pretty crafty on the bags, and I think he's going to hit. I think he's going to get more RBI. He's got park, like even though they're moving the fences in, like he's got a park favoritism here. So 100 picks is crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to 13. Number 13. Oh, this is Sal Stewart. We've talked about him a lot with the third base thing. I don't think he's like literally we've gone through talking about Sal Stewart the last 3 podcasts in a row. So go back and listen to those. Yeah. You can see he's ranked lower in the first base rankings than the third base rankings because first base is better than third base. So that should make sense. 14 here is Jonathan Aranda. Nice value here because he was hurt, missed the second half, like had a really nice first half, got hurt, missed time. So people kind of like forgot about him. He's almost like your cheat. Like he's so similar to Michael Busch, where they both just like didn't debut until later in their career, for like different reasons. Like Tampa is just like weird when it comes to debuts, and they wait until everyone's 25, and then they platoon them for 2 years, and then the Dodgers just have way too many guys. So that's kind of what happened. But they're very similar players, Aranda and Michael Busch. Ultimately, I think Busch has a little bit better power, a little bit better angles. Aranda has a little bit better contact ability. Kind of the difference here. So, oh yeah, look at that.
409 BABIP for Aranda, led the last 10 years of Major League. Nobody in the last 10 years has had a 409 batting average or higher. So batting average come down, but his expected was still really good, like 290. Bad park move, as we talked about too, like going to be tough to get into some homers. So I think you'll get 280 batting average, but no steals, and it could go down to like 15 bombs. So I don't see it. But if you really need batting average and some youth upside, I guess. Yeah.
He's gonna put up your Yandy Diaz stat line, basically. Is what he's gonna do.
Hit tool's crazy there. He just hits a ton of line drives and makes a bunch of contacts. So.
Yeah, 15. Jack Caglione. Here's a wild card. If you buy Jack Caglione, you're buying the minor league stats. He was so good in the minors. He was terrible in the majors. Like there's no hiding that. But the fScores were really good on him. 172 age-adjusted WRC plus before his promotion. It's very possible that the Royals just promoted him way too fast. Last year in the minors, John, in 301 at-bats, he had 20 bombs. He had a 150 extra base hit plus. And this is what people are going to look at. They're going to say he strikes out too much. He chases too much. His contact rate sucks. In the minors, he had a 75% contact rate, 88% zone, only 34% chase, which is not good, but it's not bad. It's slightly below average. And he only struck out 18% of the time with a 10% walk rate. So he is really, really good in the minors, even through AA, AAA, no problems. And then he gets to the majors and major hurdles. But what do we talk about, John, with the first 100 plate appearances?
All right. Forget him.
Like, yeah, exactly. I feel like this is a really good value here for Jack because he was so good in the minors, was bad in the majors, got hurt. Now everyone's going to be down on him. Bat speed was ridiculous. EVs were ridiculous still in the majors. I would bet that Jack is going to be a breakout this year. Like he could do. I don't think he's Nick Kurtz. Like I never thought he was, even when they were both prospects, I never thought he was as good as Kurtz.
Okay.
But he could have a Kurtz light like season this year, and it wouldn't surprise me.
I wish we would have been doing this a year ago because I didn't pay attention. Like I didn't even really know Caglione and Kurtz to my detriment. I mean, I guess that's kind of inexcusable if I'm going to be like a fantasy baseball bro and I don't even know the main prospects. But I thought I had the impression, and a lot of other like casual players or whatever, that Caglione and Kurtz were kind of the same. And then Kurtz just exploded. So it's interesting to see that the sharper people kind of already knew. But good news, Caglione's expected slugging was way higher. I mean, it was in the 400s. His actual was under 300. Expected batting average 250, 22% K rate. That wasn't a problem. Hit the ball, like you said, hit the ball extremely hard. I mean, this batted ball profile is ridiculous. He had he was kind of doing the thing where he, like a Jordan Locker type, most of his hardest hit balls were into the ground. but still a 106.390th on fly balls when he did get there. Angles were a mess, but those are not uncommon things to see from young hitters. Most important thing for me after 200 plate appearances is, did he have the strikeouts under control? He did. Does he hit the ball really hard? He does. So it's time to buy for sure right now. I wanted him. I was in a bidding war in the Dynasty League startup draft, and I had to bow out. The Cleveland dude freaking got me. I kind of regret it. I should have gone for it, but he could be a top 30 pick next year, I think.
Yeah, and his ground ball rate was only 40% in the minors. So like, I think it's odd. I think it's just not something consistent with him. The ground
172
ball, like
BABIP
ground ball rate in the majors here. So I think he's gonna just work his way out of that. He's just figuring it out still. He's a young guy. Yeah. 16 Alec Burleson, super underrated in my opinion, because he's gonna hit third for the Cardinals. Like sometimes it doesn't even matter like how good or bad a player is. It's like, if you're going to hit third for a team, you're going to get a ton of counting stats. This guy was really good in the second half. Like he kind of like broke out. People didn't know because the Cardinals sucked. So like nobody was really watching the Cardinals, but he kind of broke out in the second half, got into more power than he ever has before, and started playing against lefties finally, because they had always like platooned him in the past. But now that Contreras is gone, Burleson is going to be the primary first baseman. He's going to get all plate appearances against all, you expect him to hit against lefties this year. And so, like, if people are looking at his stats from the last couple of seasons, they're like, oh, 54 runs, 69 RBI, or 70-70. Like, he's not going to be that good. He'll probably be hitting with, like, JJ Weatherholt in front of him this year, too. Like, one of the top prospects in baseball. So that's only going to help him when you've got an on-base guy like Weatherholt. You might have, like, Newbar. Well, I guess you wouldn't go lefty. But you're going to have some combination of Weatherholt and Newbar ahead of him, probably, even if he's hitting fourth, and then some righty, I guess. I don't know.
Does he have power, though? I mean, he's never been a power hitter. He is a popular breakout pick.
I think he could hit 25 bombs. I mean,
25?
Yeah, I think he can get up to 25 bombs. He's a big dude. Like, this is the thing, is the Cardinals ballpark really sucks for lefties for power. It's like, it's not good at all. Like, it's one of the worst. It's not quite the Giants Stadium. It's not quite Detroit, but it's got to be bottom 5 for lefty power for sure. So that's going to stifle him. If he was on another team, he could hit 25 to 30. He's got that kind of power in there, but I think he's probably going to hit more like in the mid 20, like the low 20s to mid 20s, with like 25 would be like maybe like a max. But he could definitely get 100 RBI this year, and he's got a good batting average. So
yeah, hits it hard. 106 is good. I'm on this new kick now. I added this table at the bottom. Just added that yesterday. Because a thread kind of woke me up to this. We knew it before, but we probably don't look at it enough. Like, you shouldn't really cite EV90 if you have a bunch of data. Like, let's break it down like we do here. It matters overall, but you can see a lot of these guys, they get to their higher EV numbers because of a lot of ground balls hit hard, which aren't even good. But 104.5 on fly balls isn't a problem. And yeah, he puts so many balls in play. I mean, the way that Jose Ramirez gets to 30 home runs every year without hitting the ball super hard is air pull and stuff, of course, but he also just gets so many more balls in play than other guys because he's only striking out 10% of the time. And Burleson's kind of in that category too. He's at like a 15% K rate. So do the math, 25% K rate versus a 15. Well, the 15% guy's getting dozens more balls in play, and some of those will be home runs. So yeah, the power floor seems okay. I always just kind of viewed him as like 12 to 15 homer guy with a good batting average, but low steals and stuff. But yeah, maybe there's some upside here. Maybe he'll even take the role of like, okay, someone's got to produce runs, someone's got to step up in this lineup, and it's me, so I'll try to get into more power or something like that. So it's safe, I guess.
Yeah. Next is Torkelson. So like, I've got him ranked ahead of Torkelson. Obviously, good batting average. Torkelson's going to hit more bombs. He'll hit 35 bombs or whatever. Probably going to get a bunch of RBI, but you're going to get a bad batting average from Torkelson. Like, he's almost like Eugenio Suarez of first base. It's like kind of what I expect from him. Yeah. Yeah, you're like, yeah, I don't know. But
I just have some, I don't know, he's still really young. I just feel like maybe he strikes out less. Maybe he does hit for a decent batting average someday.
He's entering his age 26 season, so he should be entering his peak here. But he had 31 home runs twice.
Air pull is
2 out of 4 seasons now.
Might not know, he's up there with the elites in air pull. Torkelson, very good stuff there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, Park's going to limit him too. He's not hitting in a good park. So even when he is mashing, like, he's not in a good park, and he's just never going to hit for good average. Like, last year, 240 batting average was his career high, which, I mean, like, yeah, he's 25, so he's getting better. Like I don't expect him to ever hit over 250 or 255 would be like a max, right? So
Yeah, especially with this
Burleson
approach.
could hit 290.
If you're trying to air pull a bunch of balls, if it doesn't go out of the park, the problem is like someone catches it, you know. So you trade off some batting average for those home runs. But yeah,
Yes.
solid empty power. Scott White, I was listening to the podcast yesterday. He calls it hollow power. I call it empty power, and I kind of like his better. So I might have to start saying hollow power.
Sounds like Harry Potter.
A guy that hits home runs and RBIs, but hurts you everywhere else. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, like difference between Burleson and Torque here is Torkelson might hit 10 more home runs, but you're gonna lose like 50. Like you said earlier, what's the difference between 5 home runs and 20 points of batting average? This is 40 or 50 points of batting average and 10 home runs. So that's like just taking that to a wider gap, basically. Yeah. But it all depends on team build, right? So like if you have as your third baseman Michael Garcia, maybe then instead of like Eugenio Suarez, then maybe you want Torkelson to balance out the power instead of your Burleson. If you draft Murakami as your third baseman, then maybe you want Burleson as your first baseman, right? So
I always do a post about that, like player duos or trios to put together to make a full player. I mean, Chandler Simpson will be a big one in that regard. Take Simpson, hope for your 50 steals, and then build in some power around him or something like that. But Torkelson's a good guy to combine with a Quan or somebody like that with batting average and steals to make, the two together, both pretty cheap, make for a nice overall stat line.
Yeah, we're at an hour, so I guess we'll probably try to speed up here at the end here. Right. But we got Josh Naylor here. I'm probably the lowest guy ever on Josh Naylor. I've got him at 18. Me too. I'm just not like people are gonna buy him for the steals that he's never gonna get again. Like I think he's basically the same thing as Burleson, but he's older and he's not in the best shape. So I don't know how it's I don't know how it's gonna age. Yeah. Well, I mean,
big contract too. Not playing for a contract anymore. I'm with you.
Yeah, not playing for a contract anymore. Seattle's not a great hitter stadium. So I don't know.
People stop talking about that. It was all the rage in the world for like 3 years to talk about how bad it is to hit in Seattle, and nobody talks about it anymore. So
it's because they were good last year. So nobody thought about it because they were the hitting was fine last year, but I don't know. Their lineup might be worse next year too, so keep that in mind. Like they lost some guys and didn't re-add anybody yet. And then 14 got Bryce Eldridge. He's kind of like a worse version of Jack Caglione in my mind. Like he's gonna strike out more. Like his plate skills are worse. He's younger, so like he's just got more refinement than he needs to get to. But he's very, very similar to Jack. Like very similar player, but just kind of worse. And then last we got Kyle Manzardo, who's Eldridge
will play in the outfield, right? He won't be a first.
Yeah, he will play. Well, technically, he's supposed to DH, right? Okay. So, because they've got Devers at first. He's not a good defender, so he's probably going to DH unless he gets traded. There's a chance, like Cardinals and Giants have been talking about Donovan, so I don't know who would be traded in that trade. If it would be Eldridge, then I guess changes things. And Burleson goes back to first, Eldridge at first, whatever. But then you got that's just the whole thing. We've still have, a month or two where we could see some trades and signings until spring training really is too far in advance for that to happen.
Manzardo's kind of like the left-handed Spencer Torkelson light. Guy hits a ton of fly balls. He'll hit some homers, but batting average steals are a disaster.
Yeah, which is weird because like he was like a Angles batting average guy coming up in the minors. So like we could see, and he's still young enough. He's still 25. So we could still see like Manzardo grow here. Like he could take some steps forward. So for instance, like you mentioned 234 batting average, and that's 2 seasons in a row. But in the minors, let's see, where's his minor league stuff? In the minors, he was hitting 270. He even had a 327 season, 2022, and he was with the Rays. So like he's hit to better batting averages before. So I wouldn't put it past him that he can improve there. Now the Guardians probably told him, they're like, hey, like we need a power bat. Like we want you to focus more on power. And that's going to lose some batting average when you're doing that. Because, it's just natural that if you're swinging for the fences, you're going to miss the ball more. So, but I just wouldn't put it past him that he's that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think should be pigeonholed as a 230 guy. Like, I think it would not surprise me if he hits 260 or 270. Like, he could put up a Michael Busch season. Like, he could be lefty Michael Busch. It would maybe be a better comp for him of what he could do. So,
buy low in dynasty.
Yeah, I think so, because it's been a couple seasons since he was a big prospect. And I feel like it's like, yeah, pretty good. Like he's not great. He's pretty good. So like if he's been kind of pigeonholed into that pretty good, solid guy, not a guy you're after, like he's entering his age 25 season. He has, like this is the time where you could see just like a giant stride forward. So I think
like
so.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not for standard leagues, but I like him. Here's the rest. I got 10 more and we can wrap it up.
Yep. So we'll just kind of run through these guys. 21, CJ Kafis. 22, Tristan Casas coming back from injury for like the third season in a row. 22, Kobe Mayo. Like, will he ever play? 23, Spencer Steer kind of falling off. Like, everyone who pays attention to underlying metrics kind of saw that one coming. Next is Luis Arias. Like buy your own risk. You need batting average. If you have Murakami and Muncy on your team, and you need Luis Arias, like that's like a must if you do that. Miguel Vargas is next after that. Pretty solid season, kind of under the radar. Like nothing really great, but like he's not gonna kill you if you need like a corner guy. If you're like desperate for somebody, like at least he won't like destroy you. Andrew Vaughn, like really nice bounce back season for Milwaukee, but is it real? fScores kind of is like, because fScores are gonna pull multiple years of data. So it's like you get the second half bounce in there because we're pulling the last 180 games or whatever. And so you have one good half balance against like a career not good for Andrew Vaughn here. So it's like, are you buying that? Like, I guess take a risk. Like these are all darts, right? You got Christian Walker, terrible season last year. Will he bounce back? Ryan O'Hearn for Pittsburgh, pretty solid player, but he's getting older. He should play. Not a great hitter stadium in Pittsburgh. I mean, like he'll probably get counting stats, so like he's not going to hurt you.
But it's hard. You can almost. We shouldn't do overly simple rules, but if you see a guy like O'Hearn, if you're in like a 12-team league and you're using the fScores, if you see a guy with power and speed both under 100, like probably look for someone better in a roto league. At least you want some homers or steals, preferably both, but you can't really do either of those two things very well.
Yep, and you got Yandy Diaz 29 and Josh Bell 30. Like basically all these guys are probably going to hit around 260 with 20 bombs and like 70. like the only guys who are really different are Arias and Casas. Like everyone else is pretty similar. They're like all going to do the same thing. Mayo is still a prospect, so it's like there could be more in there. But then like Casas is your wild card, and Arias is just like a unicorn fantasy baseball hitter
without a home. And does anybody want him?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like
we'll
see what happens if he goes back. Like there's reports that he's still talking to return there. Like it'll probably be a crappy contract for him, but like ultimately he probably does go back to San Diego would be my guess. So
you should go to Coors and just go to Coors and hit 375 with 2 home runs.
Daniel Murphy.
Just see what you can do. Yeah.
Hey, well, I mean, even DJ LeMahieu went to Coors and like had some crazy seasons there. So
I remember Todd Helton chasing the 400, right? Wasn't he the last one to kind of flirt with a 400 batting average?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. He just hit a bunch of doubles, but that's the last 10 here that we're going to talk about. So who out of these guys, John, as we close out here, which of these guys are targets for you?
Yeah, so much is league dependent, right? Like Yandy Diaz is pretty great in points leagues, but pretty terrible in standard roto, especially going back to, he was great last year, don't get me wrong, but going back to Tropicana, you could see him drop to 12 homers and stuff. So if I'm thinking of just like this, the roto league, it's probably like taking a bet on Andrew Vaughn of this group, but it's ugly. I think Josh Bell price wise is probably decent. I mean, he's getting to a team where he should play a bunch and play more at least. I don't know about every day. He can hit home runs. I mean, he had a pretty nice year with the underlying stuff last year, but again, no steals. You have very little speed here. Nobody even over 100. So I guess you don't really have to worry about that, but I don't like any of them really. I think you should figure out first base before you get to number 20, which most leagues you won't be drafting these guys, but I can't really put my flag by anybody here, but I'd say that if anybody here like really crushes their draft value, it's probably Andrew Vaughn. Maybe it was just something he wasn't happy at all in Chicago and just needed to get to somewhere else. And the skills he's always had, they played well in Milwaukee, so he'd be my pick, I guess.
I like Kafis a bit because he wasn't good last year in the majors, but again, 100 plate appearances, right? He literally had 123, so he's like right there. He had 220. But in the minors, he had 300, and the year before, he had 283. I mean, he had high BABIPs, but he's kind of that guy. Like when he was a prospect, I was always comparing him to Spencer Steer. So you could get maybe like a Spencer Steer type player here. fScores, obviously, you can see are a little higher than Steers, but a part of that is that those are the minor league fScores, not the major league fScores. So I've always comped him to like Spencer Steer, lefty Spencer Steer. It's like I think he could do that.
Not projected to be on the team, or is he going to be a starter?
Yeah, he's a starter. He's projected right now to be a platoon hitter, which I don't really see because he had no splits issues in the minors. So I mean, like the Guardians, if they want to get cute, I guess, and add some power in there, like I don't think the Guardians lineup is good enough for them to do that. To be honest, like right now he's projected to be their DH in a platoon.
People are running away though. ADP's 500, so
yeah, he never had splits issues in the minors though. So I don't like. I think he's just going to earn the job and he'll be solid. Like he can hit like 270, 280 with 20 bombs and put up like 70 or something for cheap. So kind of like him a little bit for that reason.
Okay. Everybody keep in mind, these are Tim's ranks. They're not mine. Mine will come out separately in a different written post, probably. I don't think I'll do podcasts for mine. Oh, I probably will. I don't know. But that's Tim's ranks. Don't put this on me if they're wrong.
Don't confuse it. Yeah, watch. When you finish yours, they're going to be exactly the same as mine. You're like, well, like somehow they'll like one of these positions, it's going to be like the same thing.
We'll put them together in a nice sheet when my ranks are done. You can compare them.
Yep. All right. So that's the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse so that you can play with all those tools. I love that new thing, John. Like that's worth the subscription right there to see the exit velocities on the different batted ball profiles, because there are dudes who just hammer the ball into the ground and like you'll look at their EVs and none of those are like have anything to do with home run power or like extra base hits.
You could get into bat path and stuff too. Like I haven't gotten into that, but it was kind of a red pill for me yesterday to like, okay, Jordan Walker, it's not like he's just getting unlucky and hitting the ball on the ground. Like his swing must just be this way, where the only time the power comes is when the swing plane or whatever is like hitting the ball directly into the ground. Because when he lifts it, it's not the exit velo goes away. So it's probably something with the swing. While Ohtani's highest EVs are always in the air. So it's like, real problems, I guess. And you got to be a little bit more careful. So you can do that.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, that's something you could fix. Like me as a T-ball coach, I'm already doing it in T-ball. Like I have kids who just smash the ball into the ground sometimes. What I do is I get like a broom or a piece of PVC and I put it on the tee and then I'll like angle it upward against and tie it into a chain link fence. And then I'll make them do dry swings with that to fix the rank.
Okay. Do you have Cardinals? Tell people in the Cardinals, they're your boys. Tell them to give it a try with Jordan Walker.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. You just literally like tie a piece of PVC or whatever to a freaking fence, like at a park, and then just like have them do dry swings and say, like, look, your bat needs to stay on this PVC pipe the whole swing. Yeah, that's it. It's not. Don't break it. Don't chop down on it. You're not chopping wood here. Like just travel along the PVC, and that's it. It's level playing. All right. So that's the podcast. Make sure you also, besides subscribing to MLB Data Warehouse, buy the prospect package, $29.99. You'll already have all these ranks now. You don't have to wait for every freaking week for us to release a new position. You'll have all these ranks now. You're going to get all the dynasty stuff too, and you can edit it. You're going to get it in a nice spreadsheet that if you really want to be that cheap that you won't spend $30 and you're going to come and like jack all these podcasts and like take the rankings off of it and make your own spreadsheet, like you're going to waste so much time. It's not like it'll take you It'll take you like 30 hours or 40 hours to do that. And if 30 or 40 hours of your time isn't worth $20, and I don't know what's wrong with you. But anyway, $29.99 prospect package, really good deal. You're gonna get all this stuff, make your life a lot easier. Like John said, like sometimes like you just buy the cheat sheets and you're gonna save so much time. It's not worth it. You just move guys around or whatever. So make sure you do that. Subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse and rate and review the podcast. Please rate and review the podcast. Say you love us say you love Doc, say you love me, say you love John last, so that
don't lie. Never lie.
Never lie. Always be honest. Yeah. And that's it. Peace out, everybody. See you next time.